can you believe it? Another new season of The Girls, and we're so excited to be here and finally unveiling our new set.
I know, it's been so long since we've been able to unveil the set. We're very excited to start the new season and tell you what we've been up to. I know we've been keeping in touch with all of our fans through our Facebook pages and through social media, but it's nice to be back here on TV.
Right, and we've had a great summer. I know since last we taped, we've had beautiful weather. We've had beautiful opportunities to go out and enjoy the beautiful outdoors of northeastern Pennsylvania that we always talk about. I had the luxury, and I do say luxury, of having the 3 grandkids for most of the summer. We did a lot of things. If it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't go anywhere that I really like to do, like parks and, you know, fun things that kids like to do, because I'm a big kid.
You did kid stuff.
Yeah, I did kid stuff.
Yeah.
We painted and went to parks and played games, and I'm really good at ladder ball.
That's what you learned this summer.
I'm the ladder ball champion.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I had a big summer. I turned the big 4-0 in August.
You can't be 40.
I'm 40 because she's only 21. And I went on so many trips. I went to Daytona with my BFF, and we had a blast. We went to Disney World and saw one of our friends who worked there, and he actually took us on a VIP tour of
Went without the kids.
Magic Kingdom. And we went to Epcot. And what else did I do this summer? Went to a Billy Joel concert, met some amazing people. Went to 2 preseason Eagles games to see
Tebow. It's all about the Tebow. You didn't meet him yet.
It's all about the Tebow. So, you know, I have new jerseys, new T-shirts. Oh, I also went to Atlantic City. We had a really good summer. But let's talk about this season because we have some exciting guests. We have some guests that are returning. And we have Stephanie from Lush Salon in Drums, Pennsylvania, who did amazing on my makeup. She did the airbrush makeup, and she is actually going to be doing our makeup for this season of The Girls. So we're happy to have Steph. She's a little cutie patootie, and she'll be doing some hairstyles on us.
Some outlandish things, sure.
Yeah, some trendy things. You know what? Let's get funky here on The Girls.
Yeah,
let's get funky.
We're going to stay with that. So,
you want to introduce our first guest?
well,
yet?
before I do that, I have a little presentation here, and this presentation is made to you.
Oh my God, this is unscripted, unplanned. Is it gonna like blow up in my face or something?
I don't know.
She likes to play jokes on me.
I like to do those things.
Oh, I got a bag. I
Look,
love
it has a little puppy dog on.
Look at a little bag.
Just a dog on. It's so doggone cute. And
this is hysterical.
this is hysterical. May I please crown you 40-licious.
This is awesome.
All right. And look at the color stones. They're your birthstone.
I love this. This just wraps up my entire year. Will be the crown, the princess, the queen.
You are.
And the
excuse me,
and
Janine,
the 40.
the queen.
This
We
is-
always say.
This is great. Should I wear it? I could put it
I
on
think
right
you
now.
probably should.
But this
because
is,
it's just going to suit you to the T.
we had a really good time for our birthday too. My brother and I, as you probably know, are twins, and we like to spend our birthday together. So we went out and had a really nice dinner with our families
that
on
was
our
a
actual birthday. I said it's birthday month, but during the day, I like to spend with my brother. He's forced to spend time with me on that day.
Well, I don't think he minded. It's
Aren't
just
you?
that
He's behind the camera giving me a...
he had to squeeze you in his hectic schedule as well.
He's so
well,
busy.
Thinking about schedules here, we're going to wrap this up because we have such an exciting show.
We do.
I don't want to take up too much time before we get on to Robyne. Why don't you tell everybody about who our guest is?
All right, well, who believes in psychics? If you believe in psychics or not, you want to stick around because our guest is back. I was actually sick when she was here the first time. It's Reverend Robyne Marie, and she was here before on the show, and she is going to be talking about her abilities.
Well, she's a medium.
She is a medium, and she's going to be talking about if you go to someone and they want to read your cards, how you know if they're real or not real.
Right, if
so
you're
is it
looking for
believable?
someone for
Isn't
a reading.
believable? Maybe there's someone from your past or someone who's passed away that you want to reconnect with.
Right, the power of spirit. So
I love it.
We are going to be taking a short break. We're going to join Robyne, so stay with us. Call your friends and tell them to join us because it's going to be a great show.
You are watching the girls on SSP TV and SSPTV.com. We are very happy to be here in studio on our brand new set. And we have a special guest with us. We have Reverend Robyne Marie, and she is a star medium. Right, Robyne?
Yes.
We are so excited to have you on the show once again. I wasn't here for the first show because I was sick, and Lisa Sugar did a great job.
She did. So you have a lot more questions to ask than I ever did because Robyne is just so intriguing. She is a medium. She's able to give us some great advice. And I'm sure a lot of people out there are wondering the reality of a medium, if they're genuine, what they could expect from it. So one of the things I think that a lot of people asked me is if they are going to go to a medium, what would they want to find out first about that medium to make sure that the medium was authentic?
It's so important to look at that, and I like to teach the public and my clients that come to me to find the right psychic first off that fits with them. Just as if you were out looking for a therapist, it's someone that has that chemistry with you, and that's who you want to work with and maybe do repeating readings with them. You want to return to them time and time again.
So they have to connect.
Yes, it's very important. And also that psychic, well, in this case, a medium, would more or less be comfortable with your spirits as well, and vice versa.
So before we even get to that point, why does someone even go to a medium?
Oh, for any reason at all. I believe that you should go probably every 6 months, but absolutely every year. And you want to check in and see how you're doing. Certainly you can go to one to maybe connect with a loved one that's passed or a friend, but there's also day-to-day things in our life that we're able to check in about and see what we can change, maybe some things we can't change, but we can be prepared for changes that are coming. There's some things that we might be able to avoid, such as an accident or an illness, and maybe your spirits will tell us, maybe these months you need to keep it kind of low key, or maybe there's a place you shouldn't go to right now. Timing is key.
Okay, now you just mentioned spirit, and some people think you mean ghosts. What do you mean by spirit?
I see ghost and spirit as the same thing. Spirit means that's our living energy. We're spirit. Everybody is a spirit, and pets as well. I like to include them. The thing is, we're having a human experience right now. We're on this plane in the living, but we continue on as spirit as we pass away. So death is really not such a negative thing. It's just a continuance of life in a different form.
All right, well, you just mentioned Gucci, who's my little pet over here. He's a little Bichon Frise, and he's over here having a nap right now because of the realism of television. But you did mention about Gucci while we were chatting before. Now, is there maybe a spirit that he has that he's connected with me, or why I have this dog? Because I feel a connection sometimes that you know how people say sometimes that people are reincarnated into animals. Is that in fact true?
It can happen. Sometimes spirit is on the other side and tells me they're coming back into a family, and they're coming back as another child, or they're going to be within a pet that you might have.
So all these things that you're talking about, if someone's just tuning in to the girls and thinking, these people are, nutty.
Wow.
Okay?
We know that.
So, for this reason, if you're out there and you're skeptical of psychics, how do you spot someone who might be a fake? Because when we were, before we went on this show, you said you can show me in 15 minutes how to read someone's cards.
So that's what you want to be careful of.
Okay.
Okay.
What should people
and
look for?
I actually teach a class, and I teach mediums and people with psychic abilities, and I teach the general public as well. And I like to, go on radio and TV and tell the general public what to be guarded for. Chris Angel, in fact, did a TV show back a couple of years ago. If people know him, he's a great illusionist and magician. But he was showing he wasn't a reader and how he could learn the tricks. And you don't want to go to someone that's a trickster. You want to go to someone that's actually going to help you, just as if you went to a doctor or a therapist.
So what you have is a gift.
It is a gift, and hopefully that person is doing the right things with it. There's things that we can do, as far as someone that displays trickery, someone you wouldn't want to go to. They look to see if you have a wedding ring. Mm-hmm. Okay? And people play with their ring. There's a lot of psychology that goes into it, and they'll be taking their ring on and off. And a lot of times that means you're having some marital problems. Maybe you want to go through a divorce or get rid of the ring, that's psychologically getting rid of the marriage. You can tell when someone's stressed. You can tell if somebody cried. If a lady cried all night long or they had a fight, they bring all that tension in with them. Now, a good psychic will be able to read that about you, because that is important to address it. But they shouldn't just play on that and say, oh, I see that you're having trouble in your marriage, and next week you're going to meet the man of your dreams. Because everybody wants to have that love. Everybody wants love and acceptance. So you would pay me X amount of dollars to tell you that. And it's always good things. You're going to get a new car. You're going to get a new love in your life. You're going to have a baby. You're going to, all these things, and they can get a feeling when you come in.
What if someone's asking you a lot of questions beforehand, before the reading? Is that something that they can do, or is that something
I personally tell them not to.
Right.
I want to go in blindly. Mm-hmm. Not every psychic does that, but it's best that you don't know too much. And the reason is, once you tell me, I have this illness, what do I do? How am I going to get rid of it? What does the spirit say I should do? Don't tell me what it is. Let me tell you. Okay, so if I ask you a specific question, just tell me that much. That's all.
Just like being on trial.
So now I don't want to ask her any more questions.
But if you go into a psychic and they're like grilling you about everything, what are you paying them for?
You're showing them your
You just
hands.
show them everything. As my father used to say, don't show your cards.
I like that. So are there any spirits here now that you can see?
That's a big question that I always get. I do see them all the time. In fact, the last time I was on the set, your father was here, Sam Lassant, and I was able to see his father and a different shadow walking by him. So I think he had a lot of beings with him at that time.
He has a lot of beings and a lot of personalities with him all the time. He's a very busy man.
Well, when you were on, and you can view the first two shows that we did with Robyne on our website, and if you want to view those, but you actually, we talked more about looking at photos, and actually you can look at photos and you can see if there are any spirits there, that kind of thing.
Yes.
So I know that you saw my grandmother in my house.
We call it photo scrying.
Okay.
No one else in the world does that. That's only me.
That's amazing.
Okay, in fact, I always search to see if there are people that can kind of manipulate their abilities to make this happen. But it's just like you scry through a crystal ball, and you would see faces and images, and you get to hear messages. Not talking like us, but almost telepathically. Instantly, you understand how someone feels. You actually get all of their history from I can't even say a second. It's a millisecond that it happens.
We have to take a break, but she did see my grandmother and will tell you what she saw in my pictures also. What about deja vu? You know, you get the deja vu. What does that have to do with psychic reading? We're here with Reverend Robyne Marie. She is a star medium, and we'll be back right after this.
Welcome back to the girls. I know you're excited. We've had a lot of activity on Facebook asking questions because our special guest today is Reverend Robyne Marie. She is a star medium, and we just can't get enough time with you to ask you enough questions. I know Janine's been talking with you during the commercials and bubbling over, and she wants to ask you a question, so get to it.
I want to ask her a question. We were saying she didn't get to answer the question, does she see any spirits now or in the
Right
studio
here on the set.
since you've been?
Nobody has manifested physically, but that doesn't mean they're not here with us. So the presence was here. In fact, when I first came in and we were in the makeup room, that you had your mother-in-law that was around you. This was your
My
mother-in-law
mother-in-law.
that was coming through. So I wanted to say that her presence was very strong, and there may be a very good reason that she's around right now. You need her attention, you need her love and support and her guidance, and they're usually there when you need them the most.
Yes, I always see her, and my grandmother was also the person that you saw in my stairway, which was in one of the pictures
Yes,
that we
and
talked
photos
about.
that I did
The show that you
last
weren't
year.
here for that we did with Lisa, you were home ill, and we brought photos to you of someone's home you did not know whose home it was. But Janine had taken several photos in her home, and you had told us that you saw orbs, spirits, in
Yes.
certain of pictures.
Yes.
And you described who they were
But
to a T.
full-bodied apparitions, so I was able to see hair and a lot of details. Sometimes there were outfits.
Nice. Deja vu. What
Yes.
does that correlate with if you were in a past life, or why do we have deja vu?
It certainly can be, and we have, I'm a psychologist as well, so you have to look at those factors. Did you have a terrible headache? Are you kind of recalling a dream that you may have had? But psychically, you can actually be retrieving information from a past lifetime, if you believe in reincarnation.
Okay.
So reincarnation again.
So,
I have Gucci here.
yes.
We could be reincarnated into another person. We could be reincarnated into an animal. What kind of animals other than
Absolutely,
dogs?
and if we look into the Asian cultures and certainly Hinduism and all of that, they believe that, that's a blessing if you come back as a cow. But that spirit, as I said, that's your life force, and as Christians, we know that's our soul. That's what drives us. And so that soul, as we believe, you pass on and you're in heaven for all eternity, that soul, that life force can never be destroyed.
Well, that was my next question I was going to ask you, because we have several priests who saw the show that we did the first time, and a lot of them were intrigued with a lot of things and agreed with several of the things. So do you ever read someone from the clergy? Or?
I've read for clergy since I was 5 years old.
Now, aside from doing the readings, you are a holistic life coach. What is that?
Well, because I was a behavioral psychologist, and unfortunately a lot of funding and all of that, programs have been dropped and hospitals have closed. So I thought, how could I combine the psychology background that I have in my history and in work related to that, as well as my spiritual side? So I combine the two, and that's holistic studies, which gets into natural medicine and alternative therapy. And a lot of people come to me and they are religious. If the clergy came to me, they don't just want a psychic reading. They don't want to maybe necessarily go to standard psychology. So it's combining the two.
That's amazing.
And it's wonderful. It's very healing.
Does it drain your body after you give a reading?
Well, if I am trans-channeling, which there's different means of channeling. There's channeling that I'm just doing psychologically, or I'm visibly seeing a spirit, and then there's trans-channeling that I allow them to step into me. Kind of like you saw in the movie Ghost.
I love
Whoopi
that
Goldberg
movie.
did, and they came through. They see through my eyes. I'm not possessed. I'm just allowing them to manipulate me in a way, in a safe way, that they're able to see and pass on their messages the way they would like to.
What is the most outstanding message that you've ever had to deliver to someone that really just got your attention?
I do have people ask me this, and I've worked in Salem, Massachusetts for years. The top mediums and psychics get to be there, and I'm actually one of the lead psychics that are there. So I'm very blessed that I had that opportunity to work with thousands of people from world over.
That's
They
an
come
honor.
from all different countries to go to Salem for a reading. My favorite reading that I ever did was actually for a nurse, and I'll just talk about her generally. And a lot of medical people come to me. She had me doing a reading. I didn't want to know any detail, and I actually used tarot cards, but I started to get visions. And I reached over, and I always have crystals on my table, and I went for a pink crystal, which is actually for healing. This is rose quartz. And I picked that up for some reason, and I started to scry through it. I was looking at it, and I saw the vision of two ladies holding hands. I know why I'm telling you this story, too. There's a reason here. They were holding hands, and they were walking through beautiful rose petals. But it kind of looked like, if you ever saw like a blossom trail, like when the almond trees, all the buds fall and everything in the springtime. It was like up to their ankles. And they're walking and kicking all these beautiful petals in front of them. Everything was very pink, and the sky was very pink. And I saw a beautiful mountain that they were walking up. And they looked at me, they stopped in the moment, looked over, and they said, "Tell her we're okay. We're safe." So I repeated that back, and I described everything. And I understood before she even said the words, because she didn't tell me she was a nurse. And I said, "You work in the medical field." And she, confirmed that. And I said, "This is breast cancer." I said, "These ladies died from breast cancer." And she said that, in fact, she worked with cancer patients and breast cancer and such. And those were two of her clients that passed away about a year apart. And they wanted her to know that they met up and were supporting each other.
Isn't that wonderful?
What a
for her
gift
to
you
know?
have. What a gift to be able to share that with people.
I feel
and-
so blessed that I saw that visual. That's amazing to me. And it confirms to me that there is life after death, and there is a heaven to go to.
And don't you find, too, that sometimes that's all that people need, no matter how tragically or how naturally someone has passed, when the loved one survivor is there, part of the recovery is accepting and just knowing that they're okay. That's I think that's the biggest thing that people
And
worry
we don't
about.
think of medical people, once, you're out of the hospital or whatever, we never think about them again and what they carry with them. And she got to know them and love them in a way and wanted to know they were at peace.
All right, well, we're knowing and we're loving you, and I'm sure everyone out there is also knowing and loving Robyne. They want to hear more from you. We have so much more to ask. So what we're going to do is we will be having part 2. This show is going to be listed as part 1. Stay tuned and you will find out. We're going to end this show. We've had a great time with you. We have so much more to accomplish, though. So tell all your friends that if they missed this, to watch it and then watch for part 2 of Robyne Marie. From the girls, Robyne, and
Yes.
my little dog over here, Gucci. We're going to say goodbye for now. Hope to see you next time on The Girls.